good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you, the good people of the tube. Hope you're today feeling grand, and always around your world. Hope you're feeling orangey today, everybody. I certainly am. May I introduce to you, the good and wonderful people of the tube. I can't talk. The Orange Pedal Baby 100, everybody. You heard it in the intro jam, and it is a rather awesome sounding little box when you combine it with pedals, which is what it's designed for. Yes, the Pedal Baby is a new product from Orange, and it's very, very cool, but it has a but, and I'll get to that in a bit. First off, let me get the talking out the way first, and then we'll get to some playing, because this thing does sound absolutely awesome with pedals. It really lives up to its name. Absolutely perfectly. It really does. It's so... It does... every pedal, it's just like, come to me. I will be your hug. You know, it just loves everything you put in front of it. It really does. It's so cool. So I'm going to run my pedal board through it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But other than that, that's it. I'm not going to do much. I'm going to use my Oswald telly today, everybody. Feeling in a telly mood. But, yes. So, the Orange Pedal Baby, what is it? It's a 100 watt class AB solid state amp. Clean amp. All the way to the top. This amp does not break up in the slightest. You can crank it to 10. It will not break up on you. Okay? So that's what it is. It's basically designed as a platform, a neutral platform for your pedals to just sit on top if you use pedals to get your sound. Basically, that's the idea of it. And it works perfectly for that. It's absolutely perfect. It really is. Okay, so what have we got? Got an input on the left, then you got a bass dial. In the middle, it's neutral, but I do my usual thing of starting with everything on all the way over. So you've got a bass dial, a treble dial, and then you've got a volume dial. And I've got to say, the bass and the treble are more like low and high. The treble dial is more like a brightness dial than it is a treble dial, and the bass is more of a low dial than it is like a bass dial, if you know what I mean. And then you got the volume there. And this amp is plenty loud enough for gigging, it really is. And that's it. So volume, treble and bass. And that's it. That's your lot. There's two outputs in the back for speaker cabinets. You can only run 8 and 16 ohm cabs from the Pedal Baby. You cannot run 4 ohm cabs. So my orange cab down here, which is wired at 4 ohm, can't use it. Which is a little bit annoying, because I wanted to use the orange cab. But anyway, I'm using my favourite cab of all time, my JCM 900 A cab. And I'm running it at 16 ohm. Okay, so at 8 ohm, you'll get the full 100 watts. At 16 ohm, you'll get 70 to 75 watts. You know, a little bit dip in power, but nothing major or anything like that. I always run things at 16 ohm. I really like 16 ohm. And the idea of having 8 or 16 ohm is... Well, this amp is designed, Age from Orange said this amp is designed for touring musicians who, when you just go into a gig or a fly date or anything like that, you can just bang this in your bag and just, you know, get a rented Marshall or Orange cab when you get to a venue, shove it in the cab, and away you go, you got your amp. Okay? That's the idea of that, basically, because most Marshall cabs or Orange cabs are all wired at 16 to 8 ohms, so, you know, you're covered either way. But I would have liked the 4 ohm option, because I do like 4 ohm for certain things. There's just something about 4 ohm which is really cool. I mean, I prefer 16, I do like 8, I do like 4, but, you know, anyway, it'd be nice to cover all bases, but, you know, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, so, yeah. So that's what it is, 100 watt, class AB, 100 watt at 8 ohm, 16 ohm is 75, 70 watt. Simple as you can get. It really is as simple as you get. And I say it's clean all the way top. Loves pedals, does exactly what it says on the tin. Now here comes the but. Okay, now this is the but, and this is what pains me to do it, but I've got to be honest, otherwise what's the point? Okay, these days, and it's been this way for a long time, and I don't really know why this wasn't taken into consideration when designing this amplifier. These days, a lot of guitarists, touring guitarists, or not touring guitarists, or, you know, pub musicians or whatever, tend to, and always have, kind of for a long time, run an effects loop and front end. So So people will run delays and reverbs and certain modulations through effects loops, and then they'll run distortions and wahs through the front end. Okay. You don't have that option with this, so it's immediately alienated that realm of guitarists, if you will, because guitarists who are like, who really lean on an effects loop and like that clarity are not going to go for this. You know, they're going to, well, I don't have an effects loop, I'm not interested. You know, it's as simple as that. That's the way, you know, that's the way that's going to go. I don't care because I like running everything through the front end. The only thing I ever use an effects loop for is a looper. But saying that, running time-based effects like delay and reverb through the front end of the pedal baby, because it's so clean and neutral, gives you a very clean delay, which we will get to in a bit. It's really, really clean. You know, it never distorts, it never gets crazy, because the amp is so clean, it doesn't really matter, it doesn't make any difference. So you can get around it, but a lot of people's pedal boards are wired a certain way to work with an effects loop. So those pedals go to an effects loop, that goes to a front end, and they're separated. So if you turned up at a gig with this, or you turn up at a gig and this is there, and you use an effects loop, you're in trouble. You know, so to say, especially if you've got like a switching system like a lot of people have these days, you can't use it. You know, it doesn't have an effects loop. It's not catering for that market, which is a lot of guitarists these days. You know, a lot of guitarists use effects loops. You know, so that's a big but with this amp. That's a bit like. Also, another thing is the line out would have been really nice as well. I mean, I know I'm pushing the boat out now, but line outs are becoming a big thing these days, where people just turn up with a pedal board and some kind of like something like small like a little amp, and they plug it straight into a PA and away they go. You know, you can't do that with this. There's no line out on this, which is very, you know, fair enough. That's totally cool. But again, alienating that side of the market for people who want that direct clean tone. You know, so. And that's my issue. And I have struggled a little bit with this amplifier. Every time I've thought of something else has come along and I've gone, well, there's this. You know, and that does pain me immensely because I love it. And it sounds mega, which I'll get to in a bit. But I just have a fear, and this is my massive fear of playing through this, is... And this hit me like it was like a punch in the face the other day. I was playing through it and I was really enjoying it and I was loving it, and I was just like, this sounds so good, and I'll get to it, how good it sounds in a minute with pedals, and on its own it's really cool, especially if you're a funk guitarist who just plays clean. This is my worry, is this amp is outdated before it's even been released. That's my fear. Like it's not. It hasn't got certain features that would make it. If it had an effects loop and a line out and that ability, you know, it would make it more kind of in the now. It feels like it's a bit old. And I hate that. It feels horrible to say that. It really does feel horrible to say that, because it's amazing and I love it to bits. But I've got to be honest with you. It just makes me feel like it's old before its time. You know what I mean? It kills me. That kills me to say that. It absolutely kills me. I hate it. But it does. It just kind of like... Especially with these days with kind of like, you know, multi-effects 4 processors that you can just plug into a PA. You don't even need an amp. You know, you just plug it straight into a PA and it does what it does. And more people are going that way because they don't have to lug around 412s or anything like that. So you can just plug it into a straight into PA, get your sound in a monitor, away you go. You know, and that's the way kind of that's going, and also the effects loop thing and stuff like that. So I wanted to do all this talking and negativity and positivity out the way first before we start playing it, because that's when the positivity will come oozing back, everybody's, when you hear it, because it really does sound mega. It really does sound mega. Okay, so I have fears. I have a lot of fears about this amplifier. It's amazing. I love it. For a touring musician, this is great. It's an awesome backup amp. I mean, what a perfect backup amp that is if you're using pedals. You know what I mean? If you've got... I mean, you could have 2 of these, and they would take up no space. You could figure out a way to kind of mount them in a box, and you got two 100 watt amplifiers, as one as a backup, one as a main, taking up no space whatsoever. Awesome. And they sound great, and if you're using pedals, you're away. You could mount it to a pedal board. You could use it as a pedal riser, even. You know, you could. I'm sure you could put Velcro on the top. You could get a pedal on top of that and put other ones in front of it and behind it. All you need to be able to do is get to the on switch. You know, so you could mount it to a pedal board. So it's really cool. I think it's great. But like I say, I do have my fears about it, and they are fears. They're not downsides on the product itself, because the amp itself is amazing. It sounds great. It does exactly what it's supposed to do perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. But the lack of certain features and the lack of modernization, if you will, in it, it just seems to make me feel like it's old before it's even started. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm probably talking out of turn, but that's the way I feel about it. I've got to be honest. I cannot, you know, I can't lie to you out there. It's not fair on you, and it'd be wrong for me to do so. So that's what I've got to say. But it is amazing, and I do love it. I do love it. But like I say, that's my main fear on it. Anyway, enough of that. Let's make some noise, okay? So at this point in time, we're going out the pedal baby into my pedal board, and my pedal board is as follows. And I'll put it in the description box below as well, and the signal chain order, just in case I jabber and don't make any sense. Okay, so out of the pedal baby, straight into the, that's going into the JSM Metrico. Out of the pedal baby, we're going into my Zoom G2.1U, and that's the set, that's my reverb basically. You can, and I've got that on the foot pedal on the side, so I can kind of like manipulate the reverb however I wish. Out of the Zoom G2, we're going into the Line 6 delay modeler, which I've got set up for a loop at this point in time, just to show you that loops do come out clean. And I will show you delays as well, and delays come out clean. Out of the delay modeler, we're going into a Marshall Governor 2 Plus distortion pedal, which is my main distortion. Out of that, we're going into the Tone City Golden Plexi, which is my main clean tone, but I'm going to start with it off just to show you the pedal baby clean, as it is, with reverb, and without reverb as well. From the Golden Plexi, we're going to an Ibanez WH10 wah. From the Ibanez wah, we're going into a Boss DS2. And then from a DS2, we're going to Electro Harmonics Double Muff. And then we're going to my glorious and gorgeous Oswald Telly. Okay, and that's it. So, I'll tell you what, let me turn the reverb off. So this is the pedal baby on its own. And like I say, this would be an awesome amp if you're a funk clean guitarist. Like Nile Rodgers kind of playing. It's just got... It's got a real kind of, it's proper clean. Let me turn it off a bit, actually, it's a bit quiet. So, super clean. You know, really cool. And then you can add reverb to that if you wish. Yeah, really clean, really nice sound, especially with reverb. Okay, so that's just the pedal baby on its own with just straight clean and a bit of reverb. Okay, so add in the Golden Plexi now, which is my main kind of clean tone. So I have to get a drink. Ah, tone juice, everybody. Okay, so now add in the Golden Plexi. That makes me very happy. You can turn the reverb off. does exactly, yeah, it's just like, just yes. Very, very yes. Thank you very much. So, that's it. I mean, the only thing on this point in time is basically like the golden plexi and reverb from the Zoom if I want it. So on and so forth. Really, really cool. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous sound. It sounds really nice with chorus as well. So it just behaves. It just does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's just a great pedal platform. And just to let you know, at this point in time, the way I've got it set up, I've got the bass all the way down. By the way, the EQ is set, so basically in the middle is neutral. Okay, but I found not to really like that way of thinking. So what I did, I turned the bass all the way off. So I will show you how much low end is in this thing in a sec. So bass is all the way off. I've got the treble brightness dial, if you will, at 3. So it's about 10 o'clock. And then I've got the volume at this point in time at 11 o'clock at 4. So it's fairly loud, but not massively loud. Okay, so that's... nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Distortion! Taking the golden plexi off, this is just the governor. It just... I added the golden plexi back in there, but... back to ridiculously clean. It is. Pedal Baby absolutely defines it out. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Everything you do is just so good. Let's do a loop. Okay, so I've got I'm going to play one of my all-time favourite guitar solos, which is Another Girl, Another Planet by the Only Ones, everybody. And I've got this loop's going into the front end, okay? So I haven't altered anything. I've just got the loop set up on the Line 6 delay modeler, and I'm going to kick in the governor for the guitar solo. Okay, so... And this, hopefully this loop will come out quite, you know... But you heard it at the beginning, that was the loop going through the front end as well. But hopefully this will come out okay, with the room mics on. Okay, so... What's the... Okay. Nothing there. Nothing was clambering for space. Everything was pretty even. I might have had the distortion set a bit quiet, but that's okay. You know, everything's really clean. So, delays. Delays never muddy up either. Even if I kick mass distortion on. So if I kick on the governor and the DS2, which does this, with a delay, it'll still be very clean. You know, the feedback, the repeats never get messy. They're always really clean, and that's because it's totally clean amp. It works really well. So the effects loop, although it's needed, isn't needed, if you make any sense. But like I say, we already spoke about that. If we go for a drastic delay... mental delay, but it still works. You know, it's still, you know, all the clarity is still there. You can still hear everything I'm playing. It's not becoming mush or anything like that, so it's really cool. And also using stuff like peeking out the camera with that low end, but that's my net pickup on my telly with the tone all the way off. And that's a combination of the governor and the double muff. And another thing to mention, that's a lot of gain and it's really quiet. This amp is so quiet running pedals, it's so quiet. Yeah, I mean, it just works. It just works. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's wicked. Okay, so Let me show you the dials, okay? So let me show you the bass dial. So at this point in time, it's all the way to the left. So it's about 7 o'clock, if you will. So this is just at 7 o'clock, and I will dial the low end, but it will probably peak the cameras, but that's okay. Like the mics. So nothing wrong with that. This is bass up to a quarter, so this is 9 o'clock. Increase really quick. Yeah, hopefully that came across. If I do this. Hopefully be able to hear that. So this is at 12 o'clock, which is apparently kind of neutral. Not for my pedal board though. Really boomy. Yeah, that'd fill some rooms and some pants. Okay, so this is 3/4 low end, which is massive, and then this is all the way up low end, which is even bigger. That just nearly broke something in that cupboard. Okay, so I'm going to put it all the way back down. Okay, so moving on to a treble dial. So this is treble all the way down. Like I said, the treble is more of a brightness dial. It's not so much a treble, which I like very much. It's like a tone dial, if you will. So this is all the way down on the treble. Treble at 3/4. Just a little bit brighter. It's very, very subtle, the treble, which I like very much. That's one thing to mention. This amp never gets harsh. Its highest treble is never really that trebly. Okay, so that's at 1/4. This is at 1/2 now. Had to get it out of me. Okay, so this is treble on 3/4 now. So again, never too bright. Oh, I like that. That's very nice. Brightness all the way up, so treble all the way up now. Need more reverb. ever gets too bright and brash, that's the brightest it'll get. If I turn the reverb off and just make it really present in the room, you know. I mean, it's sharp and cutting, but it's not. I can stand here quite happily. It's not like, ah, my ears. You know, it's not horrific. It's actually kind of bearable. You know, it works. It does works. It just works, and I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool. Negatives be damned. You know, it really does work. It's so cool. And I say, if you're one of these people who runs pedals like I do, where everything's in the front end, and you basically just set the amp really clean and neutral and just use the pedals to get the tone, this is it. Yes. You know, it's small, it's lightweight, it doesn't, you know, it's not heavy, it doesn't take up any space, which I like very much. And it'd be a perfect backup. You know, if my back ever gets to a point where I can hack lifting heavy stuff around again, which it will, I'm sure, and I take a CR120 to a gig, I would just, if I had one of these, that would be my backup. I would just put it on top, so if the CR120 ever went down, yeah, right. Anyway, if the occasion happened where some beery person threw beer on my amp and blew up my CR120 and then I murdered them, before I went to jail, I would quickly get a song in, plugging in the orange pedal baby, and away I'd go again, you know, without any kind of major issues, I'd say. Anyway, have I just cursed my CR120? I certainly hope not. Anyway, I'm a very superstitious fellow, you see. I wish I hadn't said that. Anyway, I'm going to try and forget that. So, back over here, Dave. Yes. So yeah, the Pedal Baby 100, everybody. Really, really cool. Does have problems. Effects loop, line out, stuff like that. But does exactly what it's supposed to do, and does it really, 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 really blooming well, if I must say so myself. I absolutely love it to bits, and my favourite sound is definitely there. I love both these pickups on this Telecaster. Fluffed the ending. Arg! Anyway, everybody, I think I've waffled on and played it long enough for this, but yeah. Orange Pedal Baby, everybody. I've got to say thank you very much to Orange for sending me this for demo. It's really, really cool. I appreciate knowing. Thank you so much, Orange. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Like I say, this is a really awesome app. It sounds immense, as you can hear. It just sounds really cool. I love the EQ, the way it's voiced. I like the way, I like the fact it's a 100-watt amp and it's so tiny. I love that. I love everything about it. But, like I say, certain things about it do kind of like make me go, oh no, I fear for its future, if you know what I mean. That's what it is, more than that's my major negative of this amplifier, is I just fear for its future. It scares me. I hope it's still around, you know what I mean, kind of thing. But I do feel that certain things would make it like a more versatile kind of thing. Like I say, like effects loops, kind of stuff like that. And I don't really care for effects loops myself, so I'm okay. But I know a lot of people do, so you kind of alienating that side of the market if and you don't really want to be doing that. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm not using any kind of like preamps or anything like that. I'm just using pedals, and I love it. It's so cool. You don't need a preamp with it. Just plug your pedals into it. They will work for it. It sounds amazing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody, on the Orange Pedal Baby 100. I got a really, really itchy ear. So yeah, let me know what you think, people of the tube, about some of the things I've spoke about. But it does sound mega, and I really, if you're a pedal fiend, I really recommend it. At least trying it. It's mega. It sounds really cool, and it loves pedals. It really does. It does what it does what it says on the tin perfectly. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody, and I will see you again for another video. Have a great morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I'll see you again on Wednesday. Yes. I'll see you again on Wednesday. Have a great one. Yes. Goodbye now. Thank you very much. Interpretive Dance with Dave Simpson.